is Jennifer Strout, and I'm the CEO and founder of MotivateU. So this is a presentation for owners of community-based personal training and group fitness businesses on how to achieve 11 times revenue by completing tasks up to 60 times faster. So here's a look at what some of our beta users are saying. Our solution adds significant value, that we hit on the pain points, and we help people feel secure in their business. So let's talk about why we need the solution. Here are some of the key external drivers that have been changing the fitness market. And the traditional fitness market has definitely been taking a hit from AI fitness. Even post-pandemic, 9 in 10 Americans said that they will continue to regularly exercise at home even after they feel comfortable returning to the gym. So how do we balance that? How do we balance both the effectiveness of in-person human training, that connection with another person in a community that allows people to have the positive mental health and physical effects, with the convenience of being able to work out at home, the flexibility of working out from home, and also the data that comes with AI fitness? Can we possibly put those two together? So here's some of our additional research that we have just about the market and some of these effects. So because I know that most people want to know who they're doing business with, let me just tell you a little bit more about us. So my name is Jennifer Strout, and I am the CEO and founder. I am also a Pillar VC and Peachtree Frequency Cohort 2 alumni. And after the birth of my second son, despite my best efforts, I felt that I could not find a good local gym that was able to fill the needs of both myself and my children. I like the convenience and flexibility of working out at home, but I didn't feel like there was any really good at-home solutions. Watching free videos on YouTube didn't give me that community or human interaction. And I also didn't get any specific data, like how I was doing and knowing how to compare myself against myself or others. But I felt like there was this juxtaposition between having to be completely working with robots and AI bots versus being in the physical gym. And so I wondered if there could be a solution between those two. Our management team has over 115 years of relevant technology. And so our company was founded in August 2020, and our management team has a combination of 7 patents, 3 successful exits, including one at $400 million in annual recurring revenue. We are accepted to and are a member of Troutman Pepper Seed Program, and our company's SBIR grant pitch proposal was accepted, and we are in the final phase of the full grant process now. So again, this presentation is for owners of community-based personal training and group fitness businesses who want to expand into a profitable and sustainable business model that creates revenue outside of face-to-face training hours without having to give up human interaction and feedback. So here's a summary of our steps to success. It is possible to achieve 11x revenue by accurately assessing, seamlessly onboarding, and effectively training clients without giving up human interaction and feedback. Unfortunately, most fitness professionals are already maxed out with time constraints and are not equipped with the skills to do this, since the technologies used are still extremely new, but we have made it our mission to effectively address this problem in a radically new and comprehensive way. So, step 1, efficiently onboard new clients. So the old way involves each trainer having to spend time leading every individual client through the gym and the trainer's process one-on-one. It's time consuming, as onboarding a client generally takes at least 30 minutes and it's repetitive, as you're having to say the same story over and over. So the new way is to automate onboarding. Automated platform onboarding for each client results in a time saving of 30 times the amount of time and an increased revenue through ensuring that all clients have been provided comprehensive and accurate information regarding your process without having the additional time of coming back with questions, checking emails, all of them constantly having to keep asking the same thing over and over again because maybe you were rushing through the information, it wasn't clear. Now you have the additional time to address your other business needs. You get to avoid rushing through the relevant information due to a shortage of time and frustration with the repetitiveness of the process, and you have satisfied clients who feel aware and confident of your program and your process. So automated client onboarding is up to 30 times faster and it is required to efficiently and thoroughly onboard each new individual client, resulting in less time and effort on the part of the trainer and increased client satisfaction and loyalty. So, step 2, complete detailed new client assessments in under 2 minutes per client. So, the old way would involve each trainer having to individually assess each client in person and manually record the results and then subjectively determine the client's baseline. So, that's time consuming, as the process of completing a thorough and accurate initial assessment could take upwards of 2 hours. But it's also repetitive, as the trainer has to be present through the entire assessment and also pay close attention and record the client's results. Yet, conducting assessments becomes repetitive and boring since trainers are doing the same thing over and over again, which can lead to trouble focusing. And unfortunately, it can only be effectively achieved in person, which decreases the ability to onboard new clients remotely. Moreover, subjective evaluations from individual trainers become even more of an issue when the trainer leaves the company or the client decides to switch trainers, resulting in no way to objectively compare or relate each client's progress. And you can't find trends between client types and characteristics in the future progress. Can you tell, is it related to the classes, the routines, regimens, or the trainers? So, the new way is to use motion tracking software and a machine learning assessment database. It's up to 60 times faster. There's no frustration. It results in accurate, reliable, and valid results. Of course, it's going to increase your client satisfaction and loyalty. It's 60 times faster. The computer completes all of the work. It saves trainers an average of over an hour and 58 minutes per client. And the mobile motion tracking software allows that accurate and reliable results, because the software can effectively compare the results of each client to an ideal baseline scenario. And then, of course, if you can have increased client satisfaction and loyalty, that's going to relate to lower churn and, of course, higher revenue. Question that I know is burning in your mind: why do fitness assessments even need to be accurate and reliable? Well, clients are more and more interested in data-backed results. Let's look no further than the rise of fitness companies that claim to use science-driven workouts. Plus, personal trainer certifications themselves are anchored in science, right? Yet it's hard for humans to be objective for a variety of reasons, including fatigue and boredom, as we've spoken about earlier. But let's even just talk about the human aspect, okay? So, let's look at an object with your eyes. Let's say we're looking at a car parked on the street. If you were looking at two different cars, do you think you could tell me which one was longer? Well, would it matter to you? Maybe. What if you were actually going to purchase a vehicle and you want it to have more leg room, so you wanted to get the longer vehicle? Well, let's try to see if we can do it here. Let's compare these two. Okay, this one's not fair. This one doesn't even have a front, right? So let's try another example. What about these two? Okay, well, these two cars are parked. At least I can see they both have a front, but the angle's off. So how can you even tell with this perspective? Here, let's talk about another perspective example. What if I showed you this? It's a reflective circle, right? Silver circle. Right, correct. But what if I now showed you this? It's actually the same object, but now you can tell it's a cylinder. Were you wrong when you told me it was a circle? No, that was all you could see. So it's very hard for us to rely on our eyes, especially if we're seeing at things at certain angles. We also are dependent on the lighting. As you saw, there was a reflection issue here. And then also, what clothing are people wearing? That might make it hard to see certain things. So we know that we need to get that specific data so we can make recommendations, so we can see and track changes, but it's very hard to do so using our eyes alone. So, when we visually are looking at a client and assessing their movements and flexibility and matching it up against some standard, generally speaking, most people are just jotting notes down on the clipboard and then having to reflect back a month later, and then also trying to determine how much progress someone has made. And that's really tough. But since a client's progress is reflective of not only their hard work, but also of your ability to be an effective trainer, you definitely want and need to start with an accurate baseline assessment. So let's talk about step 3. Effortlessly create thorough, customized, results-driven fitness and wellness plans in less than 5 minutes per client. Okay, so the old way involved the trainer having to review each client's assessment and to use his or her memory and experience of training techniques, successes, failures with past clients, scattered notes, textbooks, and other resources to recreate a customized fitness plan for each client. The result? Well, it's time consuming. It takes a great deal of effort to do. The trainer often knows certain trends and patterns exist between particular clients. There's so many variables that it's tough to actually draw up a meaningful result and plan in a reasonable time frame. And given that this is often unpaid time for trainers, this generally leads to frustration and feelings of being overwhelmed and hopeless with the idea of ever creating income outside of face-to-face hours. So the new way is to use computer software and artificial intelligence to create personalized fitness and wellness plans for each client. Okay, the software is customized. The plans are up to 24 times faster. They're more reliable and valid, and they result in comprehensive and accurate plans without having to waste all of that repetitive time. And you can be confident in the metrics that you are providing for your clients' goals. Also, they are efficient and thorough, and they are science-driven customized plans. So you're giving that customization and the personalization that clients have been demanding. So let's talk about step 4. Accelerate achievement of clients' fitness goals through personalized insights into your client's performance. So now you try to manually review clients' notes, make judgments based on memory and some subjective connections about the client's progress, or manually make comparisons between clients and classes. Maybe enter some data into Excel and keep a track of it on the computer. Try to look for trends. But that's even if you're doing this at all, right? Because it's time consuming and it's hard to even find objective data points between individual clients, especially if everybody's undergoing a different routine and regimen, or different classes. So it's hard to find trends between client types, characteristics with all of these other variables. Also, clients' fitness plans can vary widely between trainers. And so you might have different plans, different trainers, different goals. So it's really hard to sort out. Is it the trainer, the plan, the client? And so then you add in all of these factors, and tracking could really turn into a full-time job just across one trainer's client load alone. So the new way is to use motion tracking software connected to a database that uses artificial intelligence and machine learning to monitor and report clients' progress as well as trends within and between clients, within and between classes, programs, trainings, and regimens. The result is that the informed statistical trends within and between clients' workouts are 30 times faster, they're more reliable and valid, you get increased tailoring of the fitness programs and client goal achievement, and that's going to result in increased satisfaction. So we're able to deliver all of these factors, and of course, you're going to have increased loyalty from your clients, which leads to lower churn, higher revenue. So step 5, complete detailed reassessments in under 2 minutes for clients. So we talked about this in detail before, so I'm going to kind of brush through this one a little bit more quickly. But the reassessments really are supposed to be happening every month. But then not only do you have to do the reassessment that could take up to 2 hours, you often have to compare it back to the baseline. And then in some cases, if you find out that the person actually has been making no progress at all, then you really need to adjust their fitness plan. So how much longer is that going to take? And especially if the person's noticed they haven't been making progress, and they're really going to be on you to show, why are you making these changes to my plan? How is this going to work? What difference is this going to make? I've already spent this much time, this much money. Show me why it's going to work. And what are you going to show that person? With the old way, you really don't have anything to show, and that's kind of where we're hitting this wall here, right? If we're going to grow, we're going to have to be able to show people that we can effectively do this, and if we need to pivot, why and how. Okay, so the new result is we're up to 60 times faster. You have no frustration. It's going to be more accurate, and you're not going to have to worry about the assessment, the subjective assessment of the trainer. It's going to be able to effectively compare the results back to the baseline scenario, and then see how that client is actually doing. And then give them a reasonable plan, specific, clear, goal-directed, science data-driven plan. So finally, step 6, provide motivating real-time feedback to clients both publicly and privately during and after both live and virtual recorded sessions. So the old way is when running remote classes, trainers often just stop demonstrating proper technique and form to instead sit close to the computer and mobile screen to monitor clients. Or they don't give any feedback at all. So this is what I've been hearing firsthand, right? Trainers are sitting up on the screen and they're like literally scanning and trying to see, okay, client one's doing okay, client two, okay, client three, let me tell you this, okay, client four. But then what about client one now? Once you're on to client two, you've already forgotten about that person. What if that's the person who really needs your help at this point, but you've already moved on? You can't look backwards. There's no way to track all of those screens, right? Or other people are saying that the only clients they have at this point are clients that they've had forever, who are familiar with the routine, and they just know what to do. How do you bring on new clients at that point if they don't know what the routine is? If you can't give feedback, watch your clients, and also demonstrate the moves, how are you supposed to keep a class going? It's not going to happen. So the old result is that clients don't know when they're correctly performing a move, and that could result in injury. Trainers have a difficult time viewing the client either because of the large number of clients in the class or the lighting, the angle, the clothing. And trainers have to trade off between leading the class and monitoring clients. The lack of appropriate combination of demonstration and feedback leads to a difficulty in obtaining new clients who may not be familiar with the way of the routine. And it's difficult because you can't figure out which to focus on. So the new way is to use a motion tracking software connected to a database. So trainers can effectively demonstrate the moves continuously in real time as clients' movements are being compared against the trainer's movements for accuracy, thus allowing trainers to provide feedback when necessary. The software knows when to alert the trainers so that they don't have to remain hypervigilant, and instead trainers can focus on providing a high energy class, right? That's what you want to do, and that's what you're best at. Clients are motivated, engaged, and pleased with the level of positive feedback, and clients and trainers feel safer knowing that each client is being continuously monitored for form, leading to a lower chance of injury. Trainers feel less pressure knowing that the technology is aiding in the monitoring of the form, and that they can focus. The trainers can focus on demonstrating proper form. The stress relief and reduced effort allow for participants all around to fully enjoy the benefits of exercise. So in summary, motion tracking software paired with artificial intelligence and machine learning can increase feedback, motivation, and engagement. Through increasing demonstration and feedback on the form of the trainer and allowing the trainers to increase class size while simultaneously increasing accurate guidance on the client's form and performance, resulting in less stress and effort on the part of the trainers and increased client satisfaction, loyalty, revenue, and in turn, lower churn. You can see all you need to do is automate client onboarding, use motion tracking software and machine learning database to complete detailed new client assessments, use computer software and artificial intelligence to create thorough, customized, results-driven fitness and wellness plans, use database-connected remote motion tracking software to monitor your client's progress and to provide personalized insights into the performance of your clients and trainers, specific workouts, classes, programs, and regimens, and use remote motion tracking software and machine learning assessment database to complete detailed monthly reassessments for each client, and use machine learning database connected remote motion tracking software to provide motivating real-time feedback to clients both publicly and privately during and after both live and recorded remote virtual sessions, and you can achieve up to 11x revenue by completing your tasks up to 60 times faster. So you can probably kind of guess how I feel about this slide based on the looks of it. Fortunately, no other company offers this solution. So the alternative would be that you'd have to build it yourself. However, there's a steep learning curve, right? You would have to take years of classes in order to learn how to code, then how to code artificial intelligence, and also machine learning features. And you would need the capital to pay for the hardware and the servers on to run the code. So realistically speaking, I know that your bread and butter is the face-to-face hours with clients, right? So even taking a little bit of time away from that to learn something like this is not realistic. And even if you were, would you be able to keep up with the trends and the technology? It's a pretty daunting task. Or luckily, we have made our goal, our mission to solve this problem, right? As being a former personal trainer myself, to being a mother and wanting to get back into that gym, I saw that the solution was not there, and this is my aim and goal to make this happen, right? So this again is for personal trainers and group fitness instructors who want to have a highly profitable and sustainable business, but are struggling with how to make money outside of those face-to-face client hours. And you know that you need to be able to mix this hybrid, this mobile, be able to tackle and take on AI fitness market. So when you work with us, here's what you'll be able to do. By the way, this is just a little snippet of the whole kit and caboodle, but You'll be able to efficiently onboard new clients. You can complete assessments and reassessments in less than 2 minutes and effortlessly create fitness plans in under 5, while being able to provide an unparalleled level of data-driven, actionable insights based on your client's performance, your trainer's performance, specific workouts, classes, programs, regimens. You can finally get rid of being able to not provide meaningful feedback during live sessions. Forget about not making money outside of face-to-face time. And you will feel confident, powerful, and unstoppable because you'll be able to provide the level of engagement, motivation, and goal setting that got you into the industry in the first place, while turning a profit at an unheard of level. So, how does this work, right? So before, when you wanted to onboard a client, you would have to spend time leading every client through the process. But now you can use a simple, guided, customized, automated software with the settings that only take the time to set up once. And then you just get to onboard new clients without wasting time on that repetitive task. For a second feature, before, when you wanted to complete an initial client assessment, you'd have to individually assess each client in person, to manually record the results, and to subjectively determine the client's baseline. But now you can use a simple video platform and motion tracking software to automate and streamline and complete the initial process in under 2 minutes without even having to be present and spending up to 2 hours manually recording results and subjectively determining the baseline. So that 2 minutes, probably going to even be less than that. When you onboard with us, if you want to, you can just use our pre-formatted video. If you want to upload your own, that's where the time's really going to come in. Just split across your first couple of clients. Because after the software does the assessment, it's literally just going to give you a report and you just have to do a checkbox. It's not even going to take you 2 minutes. But let's just say we were to look at a still from an assessment video, for example. We'd be able to see here the differences in form. Yes, you can quickly visually see that, but the computer will actually give you an overall score and assessment based on the differences between the pre-formatted video and the training. Okay, let's talk about the next. Okay, so before, when you wanted to create a results-driven fitness plan, you would have to review each client's assessment and then use your memory and experience of training techniques, successes and failures of past clients, scatter notes, textbooks, and other resources to create a customized plan for each client. But now you can use our easy-to-use computer software and artificial intelligence to create a reliable, accurate, and customized fitness program in less than 5 minutes, without frustration and feelings of being overwhelmed by countless variables and hopeless of the idea of ever creating income outside of face-to-face hours. And for the fourth feature, before, when you wanted to provide personalized insights into your client's performance, you would share what came to mind, if anything at all. But now you can use the simple insights feature to accelerate achievement of your client's fitness goals by not only providing personalized insights to each client, but also by recognizing trends between client characteristics, classes, routines, and regimens without having to make subjective or no associations at all. So let's look at how easy this is. Let's log in here. So here we can see first, when you first initially jump in here, you're on the admin side here, and you see immediately we are able to always have access to the launch class. And we'll talk about that a little bit more soon. But we can pull up insights here. We can click on a particular person, see how they did on a class. Look at what their goals are, their 3 top goals here, and quickly see how much progress they've made towards that. We can also look at a particular day and time. This is where you'd then pull up this heat map here. Okay, this is the part where they did the worst. What was that? Okay, that was the move that they needed the most assistance on. Perfect. Okay, we can even have a different set of features when we go to the trainer mode. So somebody might be a trainer and also an owner, and so obviously then their access is going to change a little bit here. Okay, so let's get back to this. Here's one more thing. If we are looking at the individual, like what did they see on their end? Okay, so we'll click here. This shows us what we have from the individual standpoint. They can still look at all of these features, see when they're absent. Oh, look, not showing up actually has an effect, right? Again, see how they're doing with their goals here. Okay, and before, when you wanted to complete a client's reassessment, you would have to individually reassess each client in person, manually record the results, and subjectively determine the client's progress in relation to his or her baseline. But now you can use this simple video platform and motion tracking software to automate and streamline and complete each subsequent reassessment in under 2 minutes without even having to be present and spending upwards of 2 hours of valuable time. Finally, before, when you wanted to provide real-time feedback during virtual workout, you would have to sit and stare at a bunch of tiled screens, but now you can use a simple motion tracking software, allowing you to provide motivating real-time feedback to clients both publicly and privately during and after virtual sessions without having to give up demonstrating proper technique and form. Since the software enables the trainer to focus on only one client at a time by bringing that client's image into focus on full screen, allowing trainers to easily increase class size without decreasing performance. Additionally, the software sends out automatic or customized feedback messages after sessions for additional feedback and guidance. Both trainers and clients can review video outtakes after a session to make side-by-side comparisons to work from to achieve improvements. Moreover, the system sends all the session data back to the platform to track and perform all of the assessments and insights we spoke of. So let me show you how easy this is, and then I'll show you a demo of the product. So for the onboarding, you just upload your custom video or document. For the assessment, you could either use ours, or you just have to upload your version once, and then you review the software results for each person. For the fitness plans, you just review the software's results and approve or make changes if you have preferences or ways that you prefer to do a training. And for the insights, you can view the insights between and across clients' classes, workouts, trainers, locations, fitness plans, as we saw with the online demo. And for reassessments, again, just check mark if you review the software. And then over time, the software will also learn what trends you believe you prefer if you do make changes. For launching a session, on the desktop version, you create a session for each class prior to the start date, and then it just appears in this drop down here. You pick the class you want and press play. For the mobile version, we're gonna after I show you the demo here, I'll show you what the breakdown is with that. But there's also another cool feature that we have, which is auto launch, which means if you have 3 minutes or less before a class, as soon as you log in, the class is already launched. It saves you that time to even have to click a button. It literally knows which one to start. So here, let's check out this demo now here. Okay, and here's just another quick look at some of the individual feedback given from a particular trainer. And then look, surprise, surprise. Launch operant flow. Then we're going to come into warrior pose. Just make sure you have one arm straight out in front of you and then one straight behind. Perfect, looking good, everyone. Great. Finally, we're going to come into tree pose, placing the bottom of your foot on your leg. Just move it up a little bit to make sure that you don't hurt your knee. Perfect. Namaste. Great job, class. Thank you. Okay, so let's look here about how easy it is if we're going to set this up on the mobile. So here you have two choices for class settings. You have automatic and custom. And you can change these custom buttons out so that it can end up saying, Tuesday yoga or John's yoga class. So let's say if you first choose automatic, then you pick the class type. Let's say it's yoga, Pilates, HIIT. Then here you pick the difficulty level, low, moderate, beginner. And then next you're going to pick the, go back to the class settings and hit launch. For the custom settings here, same thing, class type, difficulty level, and then feedback. Do you want a low, moderate, or high amount of feedback? And then launch, that's it. So to summarize, what do we have here for your benefits? You get the AI automated onboarding, which will allow you to seamlessly onboard new clients up to 30 times faster. You get the AI automated assessments, which will allow you to complete accurate, personalized assessments up to 60 times faster. You get the machine learning customized fitness plans that allow you to develop fitness and wellness programs up to 24 times faster. the machine learning personalized insight, allowing you to produce data-driven statistical trends up to 30 times faster, and the artificial intelligence automated reassessments that allow you to complete accurate personalized assessments up to 60 times faster, and the AI interactive remote virtual sessions that allow you to increase feedback, motivation, engagement during remote virtual sessions by at least 10x. So we have this all valued at over $94,000 a month, but we are offering this to you at just a tiny fraction of the price, and all you have to do is call. So you'll get the artificial intelligence automated onboarding, the automated assessments, the machine learning fitness plans and personal insight, the artificial intelligence reassessments, and interactive remote virtual sessions. And for a limited time offer time, we're going to offer you a free one-on-one onboarding if you act now. Now, it takes us a lot of time on our part, so we only have the bandwidth to onboard 10 new companies a month. So if you are interested, make sure that you act now, or you might not get another chance till next month. So again, all you have to do is book a call, information here. And I know that some people probably have some questions. Let me see if I can knock some of those out here. Okay, so does your solution work on a smartphone or tablet? Yes, our solution works on mobile devices, including smartphones, tablets, as well as desktop and laptop computers. Does your application drain my phone's battery life quickly? No. Our product actually will affect your mobile battery less than other AI and machine learning applications because our software leverages numerous technologies, allowing us to turn off certain features, turn them on and off as necessary, and it allows us to meet high accuracy standards while simultaneously decreasing the requirement for processing power and in return using less battery. Does your solution work outside? Yes, it works both indoors and outdoors. Does your solution integrate with common applications and other products? Yes, our solution integrates with many of the industry's common applications, and we're continually adding more. If you just contact our sales department, book a call, and tell us that you're interested in something particular, we'll be happy to let you know where we are in terms of the development of that, or if it's already completed. And here's another question. I would like to use your solution, but I want my clients to stay committed to my company. Do you offer branding? Yes, branding is an add-on feature that we offer, and we'd be happy to provide you with that solution under your brand. Is my business too small to use your solution? So while our pricing model that you saw earlier is based on a client roster of 100, businesses both smaller and larger can benefit from our solution. So we choose to set the example pricing on a model of 100 because it's easy to divide and multiply and accommodate each business's needs. But we offer tiered pricing, and we also offer percentage-based pricing for those who prefer it. So we can easily grow with you. So alternatively, is my business too large to use your solution? So again, while we're based on the client roster of 100, we chose that example so that we could move it up and down. But we also offer add-on features that are particularly useful for large organizations and franchises. And the tiered pricing and feature segmentation allows us to grow with you. So what if I own a karate or dance studio? Will your solution work for my business? Yes, our core solution will still work, but your specific needs might be a little bit different. So again, if you give us a call, we'll be able to address those and let you know if we can onboard you now, or if you'd be better suited to onboard with our next version launch. But still, we recommend reaching out to our sales team today because the feedback that we receive from current and future customers is what drives our product development. So that actually brings me to our next question. How do I know, or how do we know what your clients want? So we love research. We love data if you haven't gotten that already. So here's an example of our HBM. It's a hierarchical values map. Harvard Business Review has a bunch of really good ones if you're interested in seeing like what all the options are. But we've done a lot of research with end users, with people who exercise, and what is it that they're looking for. And these are just some of the things that come up over and over and over again. They're statistically significant results. And people want things that save time and reduce effort. That's something that we found both across trainers and the end users and the fitness members. But they need that motivation too, right? They want to feel that sense of accomplishments, the insights, seeing that they're actually reaching those goals, which means starting with the proper assessment and all of that. The motivation is that feedback that they're going to get from these sessions, saving time and reducing effort is that they can sometimes use the sessions at home, that they don't always have to work out with people in person, but they still don't give this up, right? So this is how we know, because we've checked, we've looked, and we will continue to. So please book a call, and we're excited to start working with you soon.